In case you weren't aware, we have two different versions of Fox Sports Outdoors. An east version that runs from Mississippi through the Carolinas and a west version that runs from Arkansas and Louisiana through Oklahoma and Texas. Now, we've been getting some great coast to catch photos in our contest from a lake over on the Georgia-South Carolina border called Lake Murray. Evidently, the striper fishing is on fire there, but it's a long ways from me. We have an expert insider reporter that covers the Carolinas, lives in the area. His name is Captain Inglis Glover, and we sent him on an investigative mission to check out that striper fishing at Lake Murray, South Carolina. Coming up in the next half hour, you're going to see the results of that mission. It's going to be a lot of fun. Captain Inglis Glover is coming up next. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors Southwest.
Hey folks, it's my pleasure to sit in as the host for Barry this week. I'm Captain Inglis Glover. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be taking you guys with me to South Carolina to target some striped bass on Lake Murray. Located just outside of Columbia, South Carolina, this lake is huge, 620 miles of shoreline. We've got a lot of fish here. The striped bass fishery here is incredible throughout the year. The unique thing here compared to Santee Cooper, another lake in South Carolina, is that you can target the stripers throughout the summer. While the water temperature is warm, what they ask is that you take your first 5 fish. There's no culling here. So we're going to be taking our first 5 fish and we're going to be going home and having a good meal. But we're going to be out there targeting them in the afternoon on top water. We're also going to try and get them early morning on artificials and top water as well. But I've got this great bass tracker from Marshall's Marine over in Lake City, and we're on the way to put the boat in the water and go have a great time. We're going to also have some wonderful reports from your inside reporters on your neck of the woods as well. Let's go to the FSN studio for your weekly planner.
Hi everybody, I've got good news. The Salooner tables are extremely optimistic about fishing activity over the weekend, with both days forecast to have excellent game fish activity. Top daylight times will start at 11:44 a.m. Saturday and 12:26 p.m. on Sunday. The sun will rise at 7:27 and set at 7 o'clock. And we'll have a new moon on Monday, so evenings will feature very little moonlight. Stay with us for all of your fishing updates from around the region. Plus, I'll return with Bassmaster Elite Angler Ott Defoe for this week's Ask the Pro. First though, here's some pictures from our Coast to Catch of the Week contest. These photos didn't win, but we thought you might enjoy a nice sampling of the fishing action from around our area. We'll have this week's Costa winner towards the end of today's show. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. By Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
There he is. That's a nice one. I tell you what, look at this. They're everywhere, dude. This is great. I tell you what, oh, this is a nice fish. Now, as luck would have it, as we got in the boat this morning, I realized something was missing. So we're gonna hope we can sling this baby in here real quick. Come here, come here. Oh yeah, nice striped bass on Lake Murray. Look at this. Come here, buddy. Let's go. Again, you know, we've got to take these fish. We can't let them go. So we're gonna put him on ice, but just incredible getting out here this time. Right now, we're on a bunch of great blueback herring, big school of them, and these fish are just in here feeding. And again, great time up here on Lake Murray. I'm gonna get this thing on ice. get back out while these fish are schooling. Let's go to your lake or body of water and see what's happening over there and what the fish are biting and what you need to be out with.
Hey friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox Louisiana Fish Report. I tell you what, I don't even know where to start. Fishing's great all across the state right now. Let's talk about Delacroix, Hopedale, Shell Beach, Houma, all those areas. All of the guys I talked to, they're catching limits of speckled trout and redfish. Down in Venice, they're catching big old tuna, yellowfin, blackfin, they're catching amberjack. It don't get no better. Right here on Calcasieu Lake, we've had about 10 of the most fantastic days you've ever seen. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 boats going out each and every day. Most of the boats are catching their limit, 45 or 60 trout, depending on how many people's in the boat. The others, they're catching big old redfish. On calm days, we've had a couple of boats go right offshore, and they're catching big old ling, monster ling, and they're catching triple tail. Right now, it is fantastic. I tell you what, they're catching fish right now all the way from Lake Charles all the way down to the Gulf jetties. Doesn't matter where they go. Live bait, Kelly Wigglers, Rockport Rattlers, it don't matter. Tell you what, just come down here and catch you some fish. As far as the bass fishing goes, well, we've got a little rain last week, but it didn't hurt the rivers. Calcasieu River, Sabine River, both producing good bass. Up at Toledo Bend, Joe Jocelyn's catching bass, especially on the south end of Toledo Bend, down around 6 Mile and Housen. They're catching good bass. Also, Chaffalay Basin's back on fire, catching lots of bass at the basin. Right now, friend, fishing cannot get any better than it is right here in Louisiana, whether you want freshwater or saltwater. Contact old Cajun Phil and come and get you some. Till next time, this is Cajun Phil for Captain Kevin, who's out there snorching and yakking the big redfish this morning, saying happy fishing, may God bless it. We gonna see you next week. Bye-bye.
Well, just working this jig. Oh yeah, right through this bait of school of bait. There we go. Come on, let's get it. Oh yeah, this feels like another nice one. I tell you what, again, Lake Murray, you know, is known for so many different fisheries, from striped bass to largemouth. There we go. And catfish and crappie. This is a nice fish. Oh yes, here we go. I'm gonna have to step down off the trolling motor and walk this one in the boat. Oh boy, look at that. Oh, come on. Come on, babe. Come on, babe. Come on, babe. There we go. Look at that. Ooh, that's brave. That is brave. Tell you what, that's gonna be some big and some good eats right there on the grill. Man, what a great time. I tell you what, Lake Murray again is, you know, it's 160 foot deep in the river channel. We're fishing just down here by the dam. This time of the year, the baits get down here real thick, and again, you know, we can only keep 5 fish. So we're down here fishing on these schoolies, but that's a nice fish. You can come down here in the wintertime and catch some great fish with my buddy, Captain Jason Bennett, who you've heard in my Carolinas report, be talking about for years. Top water. How about that? That's a pleasure. Mid-afternoon, and we just had a about an acre of striped bass come to the top on us. Fortunately, we had everything rigged up here. We got my Lew's Inshore Redfisher series right here, and I have got one on. Not a big one, but you know what? Nice little schoolie fish. Nice little schoolie fish on top water. It doesn't get any better than that. Man, that is fun. Come here, buddy. Let's go. We don't want hooks in us. Come here. You hear him over there? Look in front of us. Look in front of us. Can you see that? Look at that. Look at him busting right there. That's not even nice. I tell you what, we are getting ready to get on another one. Watch this. How about 2 fish in one segment? Here we go. One. Couple pops. There he is. God, you see that come out the water. How awesome is this? What a night. This is a big one here. This is a little bit bigger than that last one, but I'm not worried about it. Got this Lew's Inshore, like I said, loaded with my good line. God, look at him. This is a very big fish here. What a great time, folks. I tell you, Lake Murray striper fishing has not let me down at all. I am so excited and look forward to coming back here and doing some more stripers. Listen to me with my saltwater mind saying redfish. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. This is a nice fish here. Definitely a nice fish. And I tell you what, you know, these pencil poppers are all you need. And again, you know, we're just sight fishing. We're finding these fish. Golly, look at this one. Oh, yes. Oh, boy, I tell you what, let's get him in quick. We got some great reports from your body of water to talk about. I can tell you what's happening on Lake Murray right now. Come here, buddy. He must be foul hooked. He's giving me a hard time. Hang on. Hang on. No, he's just a nice fish. He's a nice fish. Yeah. Here we go. All right. Let's get this net in there. Let's get him in the net. There we go. Hot dog. What a great time. What a great time. I tell you what, let's go to your favorite body of water. Let's see what's happening from your inside reporter.
Hey, it's a lot of fun taking anybody on their very first fishing outing, even more so when that someone is a youngster. And that's exactly what the experience was when Terry Engel took young grandson Ethan Whittington of Tulsa on his first fishing trip. They went to Lake Hudson, accompanied by Terry's longtime hunting and fishing buddy, George Tolson. Now, Terry and George know Hudson well, so Ethan was in for a real treat. They rigged Ethan up with a tattletale worm and a Bifflebug Jr. on a hardhead, so it really involved nothing more than casting and reeling back in, instructing him how to hold that rod, where to hold it, and to keep that bait constantly bouncing in and out of those rocks as he brought it back in, and then how to set that hook. He didn't need much instruction on how to reel a fish in. He figured that out in a hurry. Now, those fish were 4 to 6 foot deep. Ethan was using light spinning tackle, easy for him to handle. That's a good option for a lot of people of any age to fish with. And just a wonderful experience for Ethan. I hope that you have a chance to take somebody on their very first fishing outing this fall as well. And especially right now, because even now you can go to the banks at many places across the state, put on a small white rooster tail or a chartreuse one, or even use that tattletale worm rigged on that hard head or a shaky head. Go around the shallow banks by boat or by foot. You'll catch a lot of fish fishing shallow in Oklahoma this time. But one thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Lew's, setting a new standard of fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And by Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
Another nice one. Oh, come here. Look at him on top of the water. I think I got him foul hooked. I think he hit this pencil popper, got foul hooked. Can you see right behind him? See all the fish on top of the water? God, what a great time. I'll tell you what, when it comes to myself and my personal preferences, top water is where it's at, whether I'm in the salt water for trout or, God, on these stripers like this, it's insane. Listen to that. Listen to that. Oh, God, this is awesome. Come on. Come on. I mean, it is 4:30 in the afternoon. They should not be up like this. This is definitely early for them to be up in these numbers. Come on, buddy. Yeah, he's definitely foul hooked, but, you know, I want to get him in real quick so I can catch another one. They're coming at us. This school's coming right at us. Oh, come here. Tell you what, the number of blueback herring in this water right here, right now, are incredible. We're just marking bait nonstop. We are now actually fishing in 130 foot of water, and on our low ranch HDS 7 there, we are doing nothing but marking bait. Solid bait everywhere. Another great striped bass here. I mean, again, a product of our wonderful Department of Natural Resources here, looking out for us and making sure we got fish to catch. You know, in this lake, again, like I said, it's not conducive. It's not conducive for them to breed and spawn. So they're putting them in here for us. There you go. That's a nice fish. That's a great schoolie striper for Lake Murray here in South Carolina. Let's go to your neck of the woods. Let's see what your reporter has to say today.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is brought to you once again by Hitch It Safe, makers of the best in trailer theft prevention and separation prevention devices, and the revolutionary T-Hitch, which rotates 90 degrees out of your way when you're not towing, preventing bark shins and interference with your backup warning devices. Now this week we're going to start at Richland Chambers, where you can find catfish along the dam in about 10 to 15 feet of water. You'll bait a hole with soured grain for about an hour before you begin with prepared catfish baits, or if you want the blue cats, use your fresh cut and live baits on that pattern. Lake Livingston has the same basic pattern going on, but you'll want to move out about 10 feet deeper, somewhere in the 15 to 25 foot range. And finally, at Lake Tawakoni, the hybrids are being caught right now on half-ounce lead heads with a swim-tail body, or you can use 3/4 to 1 1/2 ounce jigging spoons trolled behind the boat at a moderate speed. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Hitch It Safe, made right here in the USA. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus, the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit portaransas.org. Well, redfish and black drum are on the move in the lower Laguna Madre from Gas Wells to east of Duncan's. South of Gas Wells, trout and reds are still being caught from the potholes on most baits. Schools of redfish are being caught from the flat south of the Mansfield Channel. When fishing these schools, fish the edges and don't bust them up or crash the school. You'll catch more fish. The red tide seems to be starting to break up and dissipate along areas of the mid-coast. Anglers have been able to avoid affected areas and have done well for trout and redfish along the mainland shorelines, as well as around grassy areas on spoil islands and on shallow flats. Bird activity is increasing from West Matagorda northward to Sabine Lake. Fronts are becoming more frequent and packing a bit more of a punch. When fishing the birds, fish the edges and be courteous to other anglers already on a drift. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Here we go. Oh, little schoolie. Little schoolie. I hope this mic can pick this up. You know, growing up as a kid, I did all my striper fishing on Santee. What a great time. And to come to a lake like this and get out here and do what I did with my dad growing up is just so much fun. All right, come here, buddy. We're gonna put you here into Bass Tracker 175. And we are gonna head back to the beach. What a great time up here. What a great time. He got foul hooked in the side there. Oh boy. Whew. What a workout. This is work, folks. This is actually work. All right. There we go. Pretty fish, pretty fish.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Introducing the XI5 for ultimate boat control. By Fort Worth Nissan. Fox Sports Outdoors is powered by Fort Worth Nissan. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for the Ask the Pro question, your chance for advice from professional anglers. This week, David wants to know, what are some tips for driving a boat in big waves? For the answer, we checked with Bassmaster Elite Angler Ott Defoe.
If you're out there on the lake on a day when the wind's really blowing real hard, a couple things you want to keep in mind for negotiating big waves is, number one, take your time. That's the biggest thing I can tell you. Don't get in a hurry. Be sure you take your time and leave plenty of time to get back in as well. But the things you want to do, if it depends on the height of the wave. If they're, a 2 to 3 foot chop, you want to really trim your engine down, tuck it down, and go as straight into the waves or as straight against them as possible. Once they get larger, say 4, 5, 6 feet, at that point you want to start quartering those waves a little bit more. because if you start going straight into them then, that's when you're going to start taking waves over the front. And also, once those waves get a little larger, you actually want to raise up on the trim some. If you're running a hydraulic jack plate, you want to allow it to go down. I run an Atlas TH Marine hydraulic jack plate. I'll lower it all the way down and actually trim my motor up a little bit to give my Nitro Z21 a little bit of bow lift to keep the nose up out of the waves. And that's another great thing is just be sure that you pick a boat that can handle the water you're fishing. For me, my Nitro, I've ran a Z9 for several years. I'm running the new Z21 now. It's a great boat that handles big water extremely well. If you're in one of those, you're going to be able to do that as well.
Thank you, Ott. If you have a question to ask one of the pros, go to our website, follow the Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now let's find out which big fish photo wins someone a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
This week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest is Taylor Sights of Fayetteville, Arkansas, with this absolutely gorgeous photo of a 20-inch brown trout caught on the White River in Arkansas. To enter the contest, visit foxsportsoutdoors.com, then go to the right side of the page and click on the Costa Catch box. Follow the instructions and send us your big fish photo, and you could be the next winner of a new pair of Costa sunglasses. To view the entire line of Costas, simply go back to the website and click on the Costa logo. You'll see all the frame and lens styles, including the ones I'm wearing today called Tuna Alley. All right, folks, real quick, I want to show you exactly what we were going to be using today. And I'll tell you what, we got out with our Lew's Inshore Redfish series. You know what? I'm a saltwater man. This is what I've got, so I've got to bring it up here and make it work. But I used a Spro bucktail jig here. I put a little bit of plastic bait there. I've got a chartreuse tail on a white bait, and I tell you what, that worked great on the bottom. Also, for that topwater bite that was so intense, just a pencil popper, just like this one. Great rig, worked perfect out there. You saw that. I've got a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, and it's all you need to get out there and chase these school fish. You can also find anything you need at Academy Sports to get out and do what we did today. Be sure to watch next week's episode, Thursday at 10:30 p.m. with a repeat airing Saturday morning at 7:30. And you can always check our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com for any last-minute changes. Plus, for the latest news, videos, and photos, visit our Twitter feed and Facebook page. Our latest episode is always on 24/7 at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Well, folks, it's been my pleasure to sit in for Barry this week as your host for the Fox Sports Outdoor Show again. I'll tell you what, I love sitting in for Barry, and it's been a great time up on Lake Murray. I hope you enjoyed it. And actually, an old salt can learn new tricks, as you saw today as I got out there in that fresh water. And I'll tell you what, I want to thank the Hyatt Place over in Irmo for putting us up in some great accommodations, and also to Marshall's Marine for making sure that Bass Tracker 175 was ready for us to use on the lake. You can get out there and do this yourself, and I hope you'll add Lake Murray to your list of places to visit and come down and fish. And if you don't want to bring your boat, use Captain Jason Bennett of Jason Bennett's Guide Service. He'll make sure you get on top of the fish. Again, it's been my pleasure, and next week, Barry will be back at the helm, and make sure you tune in for more Fox Sports Outdoors.